Good evening.
Good evening. Happy to be here. To see all of you. I have been here before, but not exactly the same situation. I was here exactly 70 years ago. But there was no Kassel. Maybe 2 or 3%. You see how you walk through Kassel today, so new. That tells you how much there was left of Kassel when I was here. So it's good now to be in the new Kassel. I'm very happy to be there. And happy to be with you. Busy as you must be. I need to put this together. It's not a joke.
No, it's not a joke, but it's also truly a great pleasure, and I'm absolutely happy and honored that you came to the screening of your films here in Kassel, and we made this selection of 2 films because I thought they were important as they both speak about a way of homecoming, but it's a very different homecoming in both cases. So Lithuania and Germany, the 2 countries where you lived once before moving on to New York. And I think you have also returned to Kassel on several occasions. So
also, it's very important period. You see, when you grow up as a child, that is very important. Of course, that's when you bring, what makes you what you are. But then, you see, I say that because what happened during the Second World War, all the occupation, I come from a small farming village in Lithuania, as you saw from the film. So beginning when I was entering my, leaving the childhood and entering the young age when you learn and see and you that's your next stage. That was taken away from me. And so the period that was in Germany was that period in a sense that was taken away. That is, it began with the Soviets taken away, and then it continued. 10 years of my life was taken away from me. But I ended up, after the war, I was lucky that I ended up, and that period, I had this book, I Had Nowhere to Go, where I traced my life like a diary from the day I left Lithuania and then forced labor camp, Germany, and that was this writer, poet, Schult. She says, yes, I read your book, but it looks like a description of a study period, like it was your university. And it was my university. Yes. So I'm very happy. I learned a lot. Germany was a period when of my age, when I was left my childhood and began, already moving into young age, and I was here. So it was very important. Really. That's what I'm trying to say.
So it was a period of intense study. It was when you were basically busy schlepping around a lot of books despite the circumstances, right?
Yes. Refugees have a lot of time. Exiles, refugees. Imagine it's like absurd almost to say that I spent almost 5 years of my life in displaced person camps. So it was it depends what you do with it. So for me, it was a period of reading, of writing, of thinking. That was my university here in Germany. And I know more about German literature than I know, about what I know, other literature, because it was my German. You see, I was in Germany, but I was with 5,000 Lithuanians in Mattenberg here in the suburbs of Kassel. So my German is like a reading German. I can read perfectly, but I never had much practice in speaking German, so I understand. Okay. So it is that kind of situation. I read. And when I say, and quote, Wolfgang Borcher, who I meet young German, your friends, that Borcher, who was Borcher? He was great that he came. Borcher, at the time in German literature, in Germany, identified very much because he went through the same. And you have to read Borcher to understand what the young German generation went through that period when I went through it.
For us, making Documenta 14, it was important to look into the time immediately after the Nazi rule was over in Germany, but also in this decade that preceded the first Documenta. So we are not so much interested in let's say, the genealogy of Documenta that begins in 55, but we are kind of interested into probing into this time between 1945 and 1955. And the work of someone like Wolfgang Borcher is precisely that period, which was, let's say, before the reconstruction, moral and material of the country has been introduced as a political project. So I think your diary, at least the part of the diary that addresses your experience here in Kassel-Mattenberg in Germany, is a very important testimony that allows us to a little bit closer. In a way, it's already, if I may say so, very filmic or cinematic, because it allows us for very detailed insights through your observations into the physical lived reality of that time that otherwise is extremely obscure because there's not so much, written about it, or we don't really know much about, the time in Germany after 1945 until the reconstruction of the country began. So it's a very special experience to read this diary, which is now newly published, right?
Yes, new German edition of the book. I had nowhere to go. It has been just published by Spector Books in Leipzig under the title Hatte einen Ort.
And this publication is...
You see, I was here in Mattenberg in the camp with 5,000 Lithuanians. But I identified, I followed very much what was happening in German literature. In the magazines, there was explosion after the war, explosion of new publications. I was very much in it. That's how I discovered Borja. Yes.
Well, the publication of your diary in German is following the release of the film I Had Nowhere to Go, which is yet another iteration of your diary, basically. The film that was made by Douglas Gordon that is also showing at the CineStar Cinema here in Kassel as part of Documenta. Could you tell us something about the experience of making of this film? How this idea came about to make the diary basically the true substance of the film, without that much of...
Reminiscence?
No, I'm talking about the Gordon's film.
Douglas' film is totally 100% his idea, and it's his film. All I did, I read. He asked me to read the book, and I read the whole book from the beginning to end, and I gave him the audio version, and that was it. I did not want to know what I trusted him completely because I had seen his other films. I respect him, I like him, I think he's great. And that was it. I did not want to know. And the first time that I saw it was in Locarno, already the finished film, and that's it. And I was very pleasantly surprised what he did with it. I think it's great. But it's my contribution is only one voice, and I read the text, and that part of the content. But the film is very much Douglas Gordon.
I wanted to well, on several occasions you kind of objected to being called a filmmaker.
Yes, I still object. I keep objecting because I do not. You see, to make a film, you have, usually you have an idea, or you write a script, even if you don't write a script, because you have a producer. The producer knows why he's giving the money. So you have to go to have all of that. And I never, when I film, I just film. And I never know, I have no plan, no ideas, and I don't want to have plan, I don't want to have ideas. And I just walk with my camera, and sometimes I pull it out, and I never why, and I film something, the videotape, and that's it. I'm a filmer. I do not make films. Later, I put the footage together, and that is a film. The final product, in the language of, that is, we are using these days, it's a film, yes. The final, but the process is completely different. So I'm not a film maker in that sense. Make films.
All right. So you feel you're more of a writer, perhaps.
I don't know. I wear many hats, and I'm a very weak person. I'm being pulled one way, and I'm open to any possibility. And so I have no force of concentration on focus. I permit myself to be pulled in, to be possessed in a sense. Writer, yes, I have, I think I have 3 books this year, I had 3 books last year. I have a lot of, yes, writing, filming, and doing many other things. It's just part of me. I just don't know who I am. I just
Right. right. So, but could you tell us a little bit about how you get into filming? Like, what was the kind of
filming
moment
is the basis of filming is to have always with you a camera. This is my camera now, and maybe for a few seconds. Now, I'm taking you, my friends. And I do not know what I will do with it if I will ever do anything with it. That's more or less how my life goes. I never know. So no plan. No. I carry it with me, and sometimes for no reason that there is. I know there is a reason, but I do not know myself the reason, because usually, the reason, be it comes from me or it comes like so many things which come to us because we have limited energy to do anything extra. Sometimes other energies come in and so I don't know what I'm doing.
Dear Jonas, could you concretely and in a kind of practical manner describe how you cut or how you structured a film? For instance, the reminiscences of the journey to Lithuania. We have all these images, these sequences, if I may say so. How do you bring it together? What is the cutting process in this?
I just string the pieces together. It's called, splicing. Splice. I do not edit. Editing takes place, it's like when jazz musician plays, structuring. Editing is structuring. That has to be done when you sing, when you play, whatever instrument you play, improvise, or the camera. It has to be, I do it, and it has to be my kind of filming during the process of filming. That's how, what I pick up and how I pick up whatever I pick up. Okay, this film is a good example. Why did I film it? Why did I make it to begin with? I made it because my friends in New York said, "You come from Lithuania? Where is it? What kind of country is that?" Someday I will go and I will bring you some footage to show how, where I come from. So when occasion happened that, I could go, that's exactly what I did. And later, some of the Soviet film industry people saw the film, finished film, and they said, "But this is not Lithuania. Now, you are not showing the progress of the Soviet Union. What is it? To destroy it. But what do I know? I live in New York, in Brooklyn. What do I know about the Soviet? What is progress of the Soviet Union? All I know is my childhood. I know how my mother, makes potato pancakes. And so, and that's where I come from. So I filmed all that to show to my friends, this is where I come from. So after you see the film, you have some idea where I come from. And also knowing that this may be the only chance that they permitted me to visit Lithuania, because still during that period, 1970, you could not go to the villages of Lithuania, and it's a long story how I managed to get there. But I managed, and it was my chance to film fragments of my childhood. So I did that for myself and my friends. And later, I just strung the pieces together. That's it. You don't fool with it. The truth does not, you begin to edit, to do something else with it. No, don't do it. Show it exactly the way, you get it. That's the truth. Just what the camera shoot. Cinema, very proud.
Your first visit to Germany.
I don't know, did that answer your question? Or was there a question?
I still wouldn't know how to make a film according to your recipe, I think, but yes, I understand that it's about, let's say, arranging the material that is existing material that you filmed, and
I try to put in the order that just splice it together.
Splice it
Yes,
together.
I eliminated some repetitions because why to show, some why to bore, people. So maybe 20 minutes I cut out, but I still have it on the shelf.
So I might use it at some point, but to go back to the other film, the reminiscences of the travel to Germany. So how was your trip to Germany? How did you feel when you arrived here after you left the displaced persons camp to New York? When was that? Was it in the 60s or later? Kassel.
My Kassel years were for 47, 48, 49. So at least 3 years I've lived in them. At that point, between Mattenberg and whatever there was left of Kassel, there were like a couple kilometers, 3, 4, of just a meadow, nothing, no buildings, nothing. Now I understand, now it's part of Kassel, now it's more. But it was a series of buildings of workers kind of buildings. Later, I came the first time after that I revisited Kassel. Was this Peter Zempeller here? Was it?
Yeah, this is
What year was it?
92.
No. In any case, it was many, many years later.
And again, yes, several times. With Hans of Kassel.
That Peter Zempeller, a great filmmaker from Hamburg, who was my driver. And he's now a film biographer. He made 3 films about me. I don't know why he made them, but he made them. And really, you should see his films. Show, not show. Yeah, great. He's a great guy.
So how was it to come back to Kassel in several decades after you left Kassel?
As I already said, there was not much of Kassel, but there was a library. And there was also what was known. Germany was divided into French, British, American zones. It was in the American zone, and the American zone had one good thing. They had an America House libraries, and those libraries were very. Whoever was in charge of those libraries decided what should be in those libraries. I'm grateful to them because there was a great variety of German classics and international classics. So it was like a terrific together with, that was my Kassel, that library. Not much else was really left at that time. Then when we came back, there was Kassel, but I did not recognize it. It was like coming to some strange city, and very. You go to France, you go to some other countries. There are some old little streets. There is the center, the old city. Here, everything is new. Everything. And it's amazing. I was amazed that the church was still there, and it was there, despite the bombings they did not care where they dropped them, their bombs, but somehow the church was there. So it was like I feel, coming to some strange city with some memories somewhere that are completely different from what I see where I am. It's like something strange there in the suburb of Kassel, part of my life, something, some memories there. It's not easy to describe. And those feelings are very vague, and it's no big surprise, or nothing really shocks me, or it's just life as it goes. It's very normal, in a way. Yes. When you live my life through what I went and how I went. Just one stage, going to somewhere else, keep moving forward. Yes. Not that important to develop, to be too attached to, especially in these days, this realization. Yes, I think it's good that actually my dream is that suddenly we would forget everything. Humanity would just start today. No bad memories, all those, countries, what they did to us, where, religions, all those. Oh, how great that would be. So I don't dwell on my past. I'm more interested in now. And that's what camera can do. This moment, what the lens sees, that's my life. Now, that's much more interesting, much more exciting. What's now and what's coming. The past. Who cares? I don't care. I'm trying to be now with you. Maybe we should open to.
Yeah, I thought we would open to the questions from the audience, so please.
我想问你怎么看待那个爱森斯坦的这个电影的方法？
I just want to ask you a simple question. How do you see the theory of Eisenstein from Russia?
How do you see what? Sorry, could you speak straight to the mic?
Can you repeat it and louder?
Yeah. How do you think about the Eisenstein from Russia?
Eisenstein?
Yeah. Sorry.
Eisenstein is part of the film history, and he represents a certain period in the history of cinema, and especially in the history of the Soviet cinema, and he contributed a lot, and we learned a lot from him. But he is, part of the history of cinema. Okay, next. A very important part.
Very happy to see you here, Jonas. My question regards the fact of speaking of nowhere land or nowhere to go. You have been living in New York for quite a period of time, so you have a place to go. You go around. What are you filming now?
What is the last 5 words?
The last 10 words are, you go around.
No,
you
the
have
first
places to
one. What was
go.
the first one?
So what have you been filming now? And what are your projects now?
I just filmed you. And you should go to my website. Mekas Jonas Films. And every week I put some new materials on it. And then you will know what I'm doing now. No, it is not a joke. This is a very concrete. That is, yes, how I would answer. And tomorrow, not tomorrow, I will see some of the shows, of course. Then I go to Berlin on Sunday. I have a book signing for my book. I had nowhere to go. Just came out, so we'll be signing it. Yeah. Then I go to Madrid, where I have a retrospective at Madrid Film Festival. So that much I know. And then I'm trying to build a library. I run a little museum, film museum in New York, anthology film archives. And we have so much material there that the only way to make it available to all those who need it, because if you love something, you want to share it with others. So I'm building a library to put it all, so it could be preserved, taken care, and shared with others. That's my really job for this year and maybe next 2-3 years. I'm concentrating on that. And so that much I know about what I'm doing to answer.
Thank you. Since you mentioned the library and the anthology film archives, I just wanted to check in about Maya Duran, and we are actually showing some of her Haitian footage. And it's of course thanks to you that...
Maya Duran.
Yes.
Yes, Haitian footage. Finally, we have somebody who has put up money from Berlin, actually, to preserve and to really make new copies. We are talking about Maya Duran, one really a very important, non-narrative, poetic filmmaker, cinema. And she went and spent some time in Haiti, and that was in 1943, something actually long ago. And that footage, 5 hours of footage, is so unique. Maya Duran died in around 1960. And so we are, I know that many people are interested to see it, but they cannot see it because we have original which cannot be screened and it has to be preserved. And so we are in process of doing that right now. That's our anthology film archives. We have about 30,000 films on our premises. Titles, how many plans. So that's film preservation. We screen films, we show films, that film preservation is very much part of what we do. So that's my idea. Yes.
Hello. You said before that what is important is what is happening now, and we have to forget. That it's better to forget. But don't you think it might be dangerous if we forget?
Oh, let's take a chance. Let's take a chance and see. It cannot be worse than it is now. The world situation in every country, including Germany, we feel, you know what the world is today, and it's not very nice. Not very nice, my friends. So, any chance to forget certain aspects of the past of history sometimes maybe could help, especially some nationalistic memories, part of history may help a lot. Some religious differences may help a lot, and many other areas. So, no harm to be done if you forget them. Let's take a chance. Jump into the mirror.
Thank you.
Hello. Now I ask, forget or forgive? Because for me it's also this question.
We are too careful, yes, sometimes.
I'm not so much understanding why you want to forget and forgive, and because this past was heavy also for you.
I do not get what. Can you repeat it and what you said? Can you repeat?
Yes, I don't understand why you want forget and maybe forgive, because past was heavy, and heavy was also for you.
I still didn't get. I'm afraid that. Forgetting and forgiving, we need some philosophers here and leaders. No, I cannot contribute much to this big essential question. We should forgive. We should forgive. We should forgive. All religions tell that. All religions tell so. And the sense, common sense, the farmers' daily common sense tells that also. And that forgiving is very, 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 very important. And it has nothing to do with forgetting. Actually, it's better that you do not forget, that you forgive. I think it's more even important than forgiving is even more important than forgetting.
Jonas, Adam, shall we go for one more question and then close?
Jonas, the archive is so international, so representative of you, different works in film, and is in New York. And as you being around the world with your experience, would be not interesting to have maybe a dependence in maybe somewhere in the world? What do you think about that?
But
some people don't like to go to
I am not okay. I leave my apartment now is in Brooklyn, but I live somewhere else. I don't know where I live. I live now I guess right now I'm here in Kassel, but I'm not tied down anymore to any location. I do not belong to any one place. I cannot tell this is my home, this geographical location. No. I'm out of it. I'm out of it. Where I am, I'm somewhere, but I don't know, and I don't have to belong anywhere. I'm just trying to be what I am, and but I do not belong, and I do not want to be tied down. I cannot be tied down to any one location because I like them all. And I get profit from all of them. I am like a product of everything that is under the sun. I'm trying to be very, very open to anything and everywhere, not to be close to anything. Maybe that's sort of not wise, but I had enough of wisdom. So I prefer not to be wise and be open, to be like open sponge, to everything. And that's where I am. Thank you. Saying something about Documenta. The Documenta is also like an open field from, what's, you see a little bit what's done there, what's there, and you can choose some you like, some you don't like. It's like also very much like that. Yes.
Thank you, Jonas. Thank you, Adam. Thank you very much for the conversation. A big